right. Episode 3 TK podcast.
Yes, sir.
My boy Hans Schwarz, one of my best friends. We've been friends for 10 years or something now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a long time, man. So, yeah, I had to get him on. He's only in the States for 2 weeks because he lives in Belgium now, which we're going to get into, but had to get him on because, you know, we share a lot of the same mindset, values, stuff like that. You know, we agree on a lot of different things about being the best person you can be. So
yeah,
it's great to have you, bro.
Thank you for having me, man.
Dude, of course. So a little bit about Hans. He's from Cincinnati, but his mom is from Sweden, and his dad is of German descent. So your grandparents are from Germany.
Yeah, half German, half American.
Right. And your dad grew up in Columbus, but he would go back to Germany in the summers, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much when he was growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you speak Swedish and German.
Yep.
So trilingual.
Been working on my French now that I live in Brussels.
So
which,
yeah.
It's not fun, but it's going all right, I guess. I can order a beer, I can order food at the supermarket, the basics.
Yes,
so
sir.
I guess.
So working on his fourth language, which is sick, and then played soccer growing up. Yep. Obviously, big soccer family. So that's how we met. I remember we used to play against each other.
Yeah.
Before we played on the same team, when we were 10 or 11, because you played for Beachmont.
Yeah.
And I played for SCSA, and we played each other a few times.
Yeah. I think. Well, you weren't at SCSA when I was at SCSA, right?
No,
okay.
I don't think so.
So you joined after.
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then we played on the same club team.
Yeah. From
7th grade until we graduated from high school.
Yeah.
But you took a little hiatus because you lived in Sweden for a year and a half. From 8th grade until sophomore year.
Yeah.
But then you came back. Hans went to Kenyon College. Ended up running track there.
Yeah.
Was it 4 years or was it 3 years? 3 years. So you ran track there, graduated. Kenyon's obviously a really good college, and then you decided after school to move to Europe.
Yeah.
And I remember the process because you were just kind of wherever I can get a job, I'm gonna go. It wasn't really a set place.
No, exactly.
So you ended up in Brussels now.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been living there for almost a year.
Yeah,
you left last July.
8-9 months. Yeah.
So crazy, man.
It's kind of crazy how time flies.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it today. I was like, wow, it's been 8-9 months.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We were obviously lifting a lot last summer, and then you left, and I've only seen you I saw you over Thanksgiving for one day.
Yeah.
And now it's May, and I've seen you again. So it's time flies,
yeah.
Bro. Yeah, for sure. So, but we do a really great job of staying in contact.
I'd say that's one of our strengths.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why our relationship is still really strong and will continue to be.
Yeah, just I'd say matured in a way that, unfortunately, especially in our generation now with social media and everything, it's hard to have friendships, relationships that, people are mindful about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's very easy. I mean, I have plenty of friends from high school, even college, where
you don't really talk to them
anymore. Now that you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. For sure, bro. Same with me. So, but yeah, great to have him on. So let's just get into it.
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely.
So let's talk about your childhood, kind of how you grew up and what you kind of learned from that helped make you made you successful in high school and college, because obviously you're a really good student.
Yeah.
Also good at sports. So those lessons, how did you learn and just grow as a person?
Yeah. So I think I mean, credit to my parents. They raised me phenomenally. I'm really blessed with the values and kind of the priorities that they instilled in me growing up.
For sure.
So to kind of quickly summarize, I did not traditional preschool or kindergarten. I did Montessori school, actually, which was interesting. Not a lot of kids have done it, but I highly recommend it, actually, to anyone who's out there watching, because Montessori teaches you a lot of good values about responsibility and cleaning up for yourself and being proactive, I guess, at a really young age.
Yeah, definitely.
Which then helps carry on through the rest of your schooling growing up. Then I went to Mercer Elementary. Obviously, you went to Ayer.
No, I went to Maddox.
Oh, Maddox. I'm so sorry.
I went to Maddox, yeah.
Maddox, right.
But we were on the opposite side of Anderson,
right.
So
yeah,
it was I was always going to Anderson, you were always going to Turner.
Yeah. And then Nagel, where I think we did. Yeah, we met through mutual friends originally, I think.
Well, I mean, we started playing soccer together. But
together.
Then, we were going to Nagel, and we sat at the same lunch table for both
the same lunch table, I remember that.
So that's when we started definitely become, friends and stuff.
Yeah. And then Turpin, obviously with my hiatus, as you mentioned, in Sweden for a year and a half. And then, I mean, now I'm Brussels. So, I mean, I guess how it helped me be successful, I mean, it's kind of the balance, I guess, would be the big one, you know. I know a lot of some of my friends growing up threw themselves at something that they loved, or unfortunately maybe their parents threw them at something that they loved, committed them to, I don't know, whether that's a sport like baseball, basketball, or you're going to be the best musician in the family kind of thing. But I think my parents, for me, was always about kind of having equal shares of the pie. So, you know, sports is over here and we're going to make sure that you develop there, but also other things such as, you know, keeping your trilingual background fluent, because if you don't practice, it obviously disappears. And then on the side of other extracurriculars such as music.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Hans still plays violin. I mean, he's been playing violin for as long as I can remember, and like, you're a good player.
It's going on 17 years now.
Wow, yeah.
So I think in that sense, it's helped me be successful in the sense that, like, now that, for example, I'm living by myself and it's very easy to get rid of all the parts that I don't want and keep the parts that I do want. Sort of maintain this mindset of discipline and, hey, even if I don't really want to play as much violin as I used to, still pick it up once in a while.
Yeah, just so you can like keep like knowing how to play.
Exactly. And I think kind of having that balance also then was reflected, for example, in school, right? So obviously a lot of kids, their dream is to go play collegiate sports, which we were both fortunate enough to do through our hard work, I would say. I mean, you coming out of high school, I didn't have
good offers
or anything.
No,
right?
I didn't look like it. Didn't look like I was gonna be a good college player.
Exactly.
At all. I could say that myself.
Yeah.
But then you like obviously put the work in and stuff changes.
Exactly.
You know, and then I had my success in college and in other areas. But for sure.
So, but I mean, my parents were like, look, you know, I think it's important that you get the offers for the right reasons, right? So, you know, I went to a couple ID camps for soccer, for example, but at the end of the day, the forefront was always get the grades and get in for academics, not purely off merit, let's say, for sports, for sporting reasons. So, and I think that's kind of kept me grounded moving forward, you know, for example, looking at job career and where I want to do, what I want to do with my profession and my career, you know, think about, all right, I could go into something like banking, but you know, you want to have a good job that you enjoy and, at least for me, can feel good about, right? So I guess that mindset sort of always doing things for the right reasons and not just because of what's easiest or what sounds like the most fun.
For sure.
Has
of course.
Totally reflected in all aspects of my life, including fitness.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll definitely get into that. And I've seen that over the years, obviously, like, you've had to make tough choices, but they're the right ones. You know? And they might be hard, but it's the right one. If you put the work in, you know you're going to be successful. So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's the unpopular decisions sometimes that are the ones that turn out to be the best ones.
Definitely. Right? Straying away from like the crowd.
Yeah.
For sure. Which I think we both do now.
Yeah.
I definitely think we do. Like, different than like most people are.
I mean, like, it shocked me how comfortable you are just like being by yourself. Because if I think back to like when we were in school together or even in club soccer, you know, like, you're always a very sociable kid and got along well with a lot of people. But like, seeing now the development of your character since you've been on this journey, it's been really impressive to see just how comfortable you are with being alone, right? I think we've talked about that before, that distinction between being lonely and being alone.
For sure, it's like making a choice, because you know that, at least for me now, like in this stage of my life where I'm done with college and I'm trying to like figure out what I'm doing, I know that I need to spend my time wisely. And it's like, would I rather be by myself making good choices, or would I rather be with people that don't really get along with, or I'm not that close with, to go like waste my time with, you know? Like, I have a few close friends, like you and George and a few other people that I will 100% spend time with, but you're not here. When George and I spend time together, we're on the field. So it's like, the rest of my day is like me by myself working on different stuff, you know, which I love to do. And I think you find a lot of peace in it. And I think there's like a quiet confidence that you have, because you know that like you can be alone, you know?
Yeah.
You're not worried about, oh, like, what are other people doing and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's fine. I'm at home on a Saturday night in bed by 10 because I know I'm going to wake up on a Sunday morning and hit leg day.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
And you're, like, the same way now. I mean, you're living alone in another country, you know?
Yeah.
And figuring it out. And I think you especially, too, since you started college to now, have, like, completely changed as a person, like, 100%. Like, gotten way more confident. And just, like, found who you are, for sure.
Yeah,
know?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's funny that the FOMO aspect that you're talking about there, like, I definitely want to learn from people like you still how to get over that, because, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I still do have moments of FOMO, for sure. I don't think they're nearly as bad as they used to be.
No way.
In high school and college or whatever. But, yeah, it comes from that quiet confidence that you're talking about. Speaking to on what you said earlier about me changing as a person, I 100% agree. I think it's just I can't fully wrap my head around when I start thinking about this whole journey on self-improvement that we've been on now for how long has it been? 3-4 years? It's been longer for you.
I really got started in like early 2020.
Okay.
That's when I kind of decided. I was like, look, like I need to like change myself, like how I live, because right now in the current situation I'm in, like I'm not happy, and I'm sick of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sick of like living how I was, right? And so obviously it was trial and error for a long time, you know, like watching fitness videos on YouTube and like how do I actually eat right and how should I work out and stuff like that. But once you just like start taking action and doing it, you just learn along the way and you just get more and more confident, because now my mindset was like, I'm just gonna outwork everybody. I'm just gonna like be the guy that people will ask like, why are you always doing this, you know, kind of like what David Goggins says. Like I really embrace that, and I love when people ask me like, why do you always go play, or why are you always in the gym, like, because like I'm supposed to be.
The best response is the Goggins response, right? It's because you are.
Yeah, because you're not. You know? I love that too. I've said that
funny.
One time when I was running with George at like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, like a few years ago. This guy like literally asked, he's like, "Why are you guys out here running right now?" And like we both just like looked at each other and were like, "Cause you're not." Like it was so funny, right? But yeah, my journey really started, and then I just think like after a few months, like I started to see physical changes. And then like it was the mental change, so that like changed everything, right?
That's
and,
what
like,
tells you, right?
We've learned that, we've realized that, which I think people that haven't decided to go on a hard change in their life don't realize. Like they might just be like, oh, I want to get more in shape.
Yeah.
But they don't realize all the mental stuff that comes with it. Like you get more confident, you know, your self-esteem goes up.
Yeah.
You don't care about like what random people think about as much. Like obviously we both still care about what other people think about us, but it's such a less degree than like it used to be. It's not like constantly panicking like, oh, like what is she thinking, blah, blah, blah. It's like I don't care. Now it's like I care about what you think about me, because I respect you, right? It's not like some random person I see on the street I don't care, you know. But
the respect has to be earned, right?
It does, yeah, and it does have to be. And I think another big thing about that is having people in your life that can push you, right? And can hold you accountable and won't put up with like bullshit. Yeah. And I think I've done a good job of having those people in my life, like you and George, especially like honestly just the main two of those. Like, and we aren't all three like friends, but I have like you as a great friend, George as a great friend that hold me accountable in different ways. And honestly, like it's also like a competition thing. It's like if George goes to the gym and posts about it on Instagram, like if I don't go to the gym that day, I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
This isn't good. And someone's outworking me.
Yeah, right? Someone's outworking me, right? And obviously he's one of my friends, but it's like it's a healthy competition, you know. And we just push each other. And I think,
I think it's good. I mean, I think something that you just said that I came up with in my head was like, you know, like. It's funny because you just mentioned how we're not all friends really together directly. We've never really hung out, the three of us. But I think in some way that's good, right? Like, okay, you have people that you can rely on, but at the end of the day, the coin rolls back to you, right? Like,
oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
of course,
because so many people, I feel like, when they get these friend groups, whether it's when we're in middle school, high school, college, right? These friend groups, and you almost lose this identity of self, right? Because you're trying to be someone else that you're not.
For sure, bro. Yeah.
I had that the first 2 years in college. First year and a half, I'd say. I mean, fully willing to admit, man, I experimented with all sorts of things that I highly regret, and had experiences that I wish I hadn't done in hindsight. A, that's part of growing up and learning, but B, also, you know, I found myself trying to fit this different Hans persona that I really wasn't, you know.
I think I could see that too, like when we would talk and like hang out, because obviously like we would stay on the touch on the phone and stuff, and you did some stuff that now you wouldn't do, you know, and it honestly probably was because like you want to be, like you want to have a sense of like belonging with this group of people, you know?
Exactly, and you lose then the self-respect, because I mean, then when you take a hard look at yourself in the mirror, which for me I think was spring.
Germany? Was it in Germany?
After Germany, so like
we're definitely gonna dive into that more. I want to really talk about
like
that.
Winter. Was it winter? No, it was going into like winter 2020, going into spring 2021, and you take a hard look in the mirror and you're like, can't even recognize the guy in front of you, right? It's kind of like, all right, so we've gotten here. I could lay down and cry myself a river and about the past, but it's more like, all right, be proactive. What are you going to do now moving forward to rectify the things that you've done wrong in the past, and not only surpass the hill that you climbed the first time when you, for example, got into college, but how are you then going to go forward, right?
Yeah, exactly, and keep improving and change, because let's honestly get into that right now, because I had been going on my journey, right, during that time. It was during COVID, and you were home after Kenya, right? And we started, I remember, I think it was after the summer of 2020, we started like working out. Like we would go on for runs, right? And I remember you were hitting running really, really hard. Like you ran a half marathon at the end of like right before you went to Germany. And I remember like a few months before, you ran 3 miles and like at like a 9:20 pace.
Yeah, it was
and then you went up to 13 miles like under like an 8:30 or something pace.
Yeah, know? Actually, wait, I think I have a screenshot on my phone, but I remember that. And because you get home with COVID, right? And you're like, all right, so what am I going to do now?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're sitting at home, you're kind of paying attention to whatever Zoom class you're in. Not really, right? No. And so it's like, all right, well, like now how am I going to challenge myself, right? And so for me, running.
And I think also like, I think I was lucky too, because I was already kind of like started on this journey of like, I want to get better at soccer, right? So I had the excuse now during COVID, like I can go play soccer every single day because there is nothing else to do, right?
Right, exactly.
I literally can go play every day because I have school online, but it's easy. It's a joke, right? But I can literally go play soccer every day, and then I feel like you started seeing like kind of what I was doing in my own like lane, you know, of soccer, because like obviously you were playing soccer then, and then you were like, all right, I'm getting on this grind too, you know, like my own type of grind, right?
So I found it was 13.6 miles at an 8:27 mile pace.
That, bro. Yeah, dude, look at that, bro. And like 2 months before, this guy ran like 3 miles in like 9. I remember you like texted me, you're like, I ran 3 miles in like 9 minutes or something. It was hard. So that was your kind of first, let's call it your first really taste of the other side.
100%.
Like you were, during that time, like you were living like a very good life, like running a ton, eating healthy. I don't think you were drinking that much at all. No. If you probably weren't drinking at all.
No.
Just a very balanced life, with probably meditating too, because you're the one who got me on that stuff.
That's
on
true.
Meditating. Journaling also. So just talk to me a little bit about like how you felt during that time. When you were at home.
I think, well, it's tough, you know. I love my parents. They've raised me phenomenally, but I think personally as well as externally, there's always been a lot of pressure in the household. And I know I listened to your earlier podcast with Jay Arch, and he was saying a similar thing about pressure kind of from the parents. And so then there's this expectation that I set on myself to do something that not only I can be proud of, but my parents can be proud of. And running that half marathon was like the first time in a really long time that I was proud of something that I'd done, right? Because going back to what I mentioned earlier about the 2 years of college where I kind of I did it mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really give it my full.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last really proud thing that I could say I had accomplished was getting into Kenyon, which was a very selective school at the time. Now, of course, with their admission rates changed a little. But so anyhow, but I mean, it was great. I mean, this freedom, especially during COVID when no one knew what the virus was.
No.
I mean, we're touching our food delivery orders with like silicone like gloves to make sure that we don't get the virus. Running was the one outlet where through everything I was able to let go of steam, just truly, and just put it all into the legs and let it out on the trail.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I think you learned a ton about just all the other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
The mindset stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, I think I probably shown you David Goggins by then. I know you read, like, have listened to podcasts and, like, listened and read the books, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You learned the mindset stuff about, like, how we had both lived, like, in high school when we were younger. Now we're, like, completely different. Because we are the abnormal because we choose to be, and we choose to do hard stuff.
Well,
when back in the day, dude, I didn't want to do anything hard, bro. No way. Why? Like, if
it used to be Krispy Kreme donuts in 2 liters.
Yeah,
right?
dude. When we were in high school, bro, we used to like go to Krispy Kreme drive-thru on like a Saturday night and eat like all this shit, right? And looking back, it was fun.
Yeah.
But we were just having fun, and we didn't know any better, right?
Shooting the shit. Yeah.
Shooting the shit, yeah, which we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I love it. But now, like, we both have experienced the other side of the discipline and how much better both of our lives are.
100%. I think for me personally, there was a lot of personal stuff going on at home as well during COVID.
Yeah.
When you're in close proximity to family where you don't see eye to eye on everything, and then compound that with lockdown orders and not being able to leave anywhere, and, you know, family members having conditions that if they had gotten COVID would have made it worse, complications. So, you know, all of that, you just, at some point for me, it was like the steam is just building in your head.
Yeah, it's all this like anxiety and stuff like
that. Frustration, anger. I mean, you know, I'm fully willing to admit I was seeing therapists, trying to deal with it, you know, and nothing was really working. And then it's just the power of exercise and like meditation and journaling. It's insane how much it helps. And people I've talked to, they're always like, yeah, but like I can't get into it. I'm like, okay, but I also couldn't get into it at the beginning. Like in the beginning when I started meditating, for example, it was like, oh, I hear a noise and you constantly look around. But it's like with everything else in life, it's the persistence of doing it that eventually things will click and fall into place.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, definitely that first period was phenomenal. I learned a lot about running itself, how to take care of my body, and more importantly, I was just having fun with it.
And you were like happy, bro.
Yeah,
you were like just chill. You like looked great, you know,
putting in 40 mile weeks,
consistently for like months.
You know? And yeah, I mean, combine that with it was summertime, and couldn't go to a gym, but hey, was putting in the bench dips at home, doing like 200 push-ups a day, the home workouts, man.
But again, it's better than nothing. And I want to go off what you said about the getting started with stuff, right? Because I think a lot of people, I'll just use the gym as an example. Like, people want to get into the gym, right? And they think that they have to go do some like hard-ass like hour class or hit some hard-ass workout, when it's like, in reality, it's better to go in the gym for 20 minutes and do 2 exercises than to think about going into the gym for an hour the next day and doing a hard. Like, if you just go for 20 minutes, if you meditate for 2 minutes, it's better than not meditating. It's better than not going to the gym. You know, like, and then again, like for me, for you, with all like the stuff we've done, the gym stuff especially for both of us, like once we get on it, dude, it's now it's like it's for fun, bro.
It's a lifestyle.
I literally have fun every day working out, you know. And at first it was like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm sore, or I don't like working out with other people around me, or whatever the excuse was, right? But we both got through that, and now it's like, dude, I love working out. I have a great physique. We both have good physiques to show the results of what we've done. Too, you know, and it just makes you proud of yourself, which is. That is just such like a baseline for a successful, happy life. You know?
I agree. I agree. I think it also spreads, right? I mean, for example, after this podcast, I'm going to go out for a 20-mile bike ride with my parents.
Yeah.
On a Friday night at 8-9 p.m. And yeah, I mean, I got my workout in today already.
Yeah, we already got after this morning. We got after yesterday. We're going tomorrow. Like...
Yeah, but I mean, my parents, I could say, since I've been on this fitness journey as well, they've kind of been like, wow, okay, like, there's some serious results that he's seeing. It kind of inspires us to go out and be more active as well.
For sure. And we can talk about, dude, both of our younger brothers.
Yeah.
Have also gone on some of their own journeys.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say as hardcore as us.
No.
But, I mean, for my brother, for Jack, we obviously know, bro, like, 2 years ago, he was 125 pounds.
Yeah.
Now he's, like, 170, bro, and he's jacked. He's huge now, right?
Yeah.
And he got into the gym after, like, multiple times of, like, trying, quitting.
Yeah.
And after one time, he just said, like, screw it, like, I'm going. And went, and then 3 months later, like, just saw results, and now he's just, like, consistently.
Well, exactly, right?
You know, and your brother, too, I mean, he would come out and run with us.
Yeah.
And when you went to Germany in 2020, he would hit me up every weekend and be like, dude, let's go, like, do a workout on, like, Saturday morning at, like, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was, like, in November, bro. It's, like, cold out.
Yeah.
We'd go, like, flip a tire and go run, or, like, we would do some stuff on the bleachers, like, he would do push-ups or, like, random stuff, but he just, like, saw what we were doing, just wanted to get better, You know? And it just, like, when people see it, bro, it spreads.
Yeah.
The positivity, like, spreads of,
yeah.
We're not okay with being, like, mediocre and soft. Like, we're going to push ourselves, and if people want to join, bro, they're more than welcome.
Well, I'd say, yeah, I mean, for everyone out there, this is the OG when it comes to fitness. I mean, you put me on it, right?
I mean, I can say I'd put you on it, but you did all the work.
Yeah.
Know? But I lit the fire that, like, blew into the woods.
Yeah, but I mean, I can start listing people that you've lit the fire for. Me, my brother, your brother, JR, your teammates at Lake Forest.
Well, not Jarge. I won't say Jarge. Jarge kind of did it for me.
Okay. Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. Right.
But we both, like, dude, we motivate each other all the time. But yeah,
it's still, like...
Yeah, there's a handful. And I bet there's people that have reached out to me on Instagram, or maybe have never even said it, that maybe I've inspired them a little bit. I don't know. But that's the goal, you know? And,
well, yeah. And I mean, one additional person to see the benefit and to do it is...
It's awesome,
plenty.
Dude. It's worth it.
You've changed... you sound dramatic saying it changed lives, but you have in a sense, right? I mean, I'm trying to picture what my life would be like if I hadn't seen fitness. And I mean, well, if I hadn't gotten into it, and it's like, I don't know where I'd be. Yeah. I really don't, because even though, you know, I had a great upbringing and the structure around me, I mean, at the end of the day, we all become adults and need to figure out things out on our own, right? And so...
Yeah. That's accountability.
Accountability, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, fitness has provided me with that.
I could say, dude, I'll say the same thing, dude. Like, if I never made that change in 2020, like, I would have never had the college career. I would have never played high level, like, USL 2. Would have never had a six-pack, a good physique. Dude, I don't know what I'd be doing, bro. I'd be just, like, another kind of just okay, mediocre 23-year-old with probably some, like, normal job, you know, not happy. And not happy, I wouldn't be happy, you know.
Yeah.
And so fitness, bro, it's changed everything. So let's go into but then you get into the running, right? But then you go over to Germany.
Yeah.
You have some struggles over there. So let's talk about that a little bit. To put it lightly, I mean, dude, we'll say, like, you're literally locked in your grandparents' house in Germany. Because he was going to school over there for, like, a semester.
Yeah.
In a weird, it was like what, November to like March or February or something?
Yeah, it was October.
Yeah.
February.
Okay, so you were over there. You were expecting like, oh, it's gonna be normal. We're gonna like, you're gonna get to go to the university and like meet people and do whatever like your brother's doing now.
Yeah.
But no, university was like shut down pretty much.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the U.S., I think people underestimate how grateful they should be actually for the amount of freedoms they had during COVID.
Yeah.
I was under the impression things weren't that bad in Germany at the time before I went over, and then literally the week I went over, everything shut down. The entire country, sweeping new coronavirus regulations, the whole shebang. And yeah, so instead of going to university like my brother's doing currently, I was stuck in my room doing all classes fully remote, virtually.
No gym, right?
No gym. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing I don't think people appreciate about the U.S. is like, the government can only impose so many restrictions on you before it becomes unconstitutional, right?
Yeah.
And at least here, if I remember correctly, besides maybe the first couple months, the gym was always open.
Always. From middle of May 2020, it was open for good. Yeah.
Exactly. And in Germany, no. Restaurants were closed. Gyms were closed. This was closed. That was closed. So, I mean, people basically were in full lockdown China-esque version, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember for Christmas, I couldn't see more than 2 people.
That's crazy. And that was like a rule imposed by the government.
That was a rule
right?
imposed by the
That's
government.
Crazy, bro.
At one point,
crazy.
they told you couldn't go outside a certain radius of your province. Like, I started feeling like I was in China.
You're like trapped.
I'm
You're
like
in
in Wuhan right now. But, yeah, I mean, so I left, right, because I'd been in that running shape. I left for Germany. I remember getting on the scale. I was a 160.
You're lean, bro. Light.
Lean and light, right? Because that's also before I ever started lifting.
Yeah. The lifting, we haven't even started that really.
No,
you were just the running.
Yeah, it was just the running, right? Yeah. So I was still stick. And then when I finally hit a scale, then in Germany, right before I was about to leave, it was 185 pounds.
Yeah, I remember the picture, bro. You posted the picture.
I have but you have to. Yeah. You have to confront it.
Yeah.
If you don't confront it, like, what are you doing? Like, you're just trying to run from it, right?
Yeah.
So, fine, put it out in the ether. Like, let it be out there, because, like, for me, that's a reminder of what I don't ever want to become.
Yeah, bro, for sure. I do that now with my old pictures too, bro. I post them on my fitness. I post them tons and tons of time on my fitness account, because I don't give a shit now, but I ain't going back. Hell no, bro.
That's in my rear view.
Yeah, no way, so and then so you come back to Kenyon after that, and then the summer though, when you got home, dude, you started grinding. You and my brother started grinding.
So I think it's important to note people think, like, well, how can you put on 25 pounds in such a short period of time? It does not take much.
No.
It takes being lazy, not doing much, getting instant gratification. I mean, I was vaping like crazy back then because I was drinking like crazy back then. I mean, I remember drinking like 1.5 liters of beer every night. Yeah. And towards the end of my time, like, that wasn't even enough to get me drunk. So that's like concerning in of itself, right? This isn't Coors Light. This is like German beer. It's like 5-6%. Yeah. So that, and then combined with grandparents who love you dearly and are stuffing you full of food, you come back 25 pounds heavier. So then in the summer, I came back to Kenyon in the spring, and track was a go actually then. Even though it was like,
because I was at home.
COVID.
Wait, I was at home then, during that spring semester.
Right.
So you were at school.
And I was at school, and I slowly started my fitness pal, started kind of tracking my calories and stuff, because I was like, I need to cut this. I remember coming home, and I was like, I'm chubby. I told my parents, I was like, I'm chubby. And they're like, no, you look fine. And then, like, I got the real version out a couple months later. It's like, no, you were chubby. So I started cutting down the weight, and then by the time summer came, summer 2021, I think, right? Yeah. I was down to like 175, 76, 77 pounds. So I cut like 6 or 7 pounds, but college is always tough, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's only so much food, you got distractions, you got weekends, alcohol, everything.
And it's like, the schools that we went to, we don't cook our food.
No.
We went to dining halls, so it's like, it's a lot harder to control.
And for mine, it was all inclusive, so you can go as much as you want. It's not even meal swipes.
Yeah, oh, okay.
So,
you're
hungry, you want pizza? Yeah, go get pizza. But so I came back, and then I think I met up with you and your brother, right?
Probably.
The first time, I think it was.
I mean, I was in West Virginia for like those few months, because that's when I was playing there. But I came back like here and there.
But you left in June, right?
No, I left in May.
Okay, was it later May?
Probably. I was home for a few weekends here and there, because it wasn't like that far.
I swear I remember. I have the date burned in my mind. It was like first week of May 2021 was the week I changed my life forever.
Okay, no, I was home that weekend.
You were home
because I was there. Like, I left on May something, like, maybe you went with me right before I left.
Yeah,
because I left on like the 7th or something.
I went once with Jack, and I went once with you, and then from there on out.
Okay, so it was probably like right before I left.
Yeah,
I left on a Friday, and then I came back that next weekend also, so we might have worked out that
Yeah.
too. But then you and Jack started going like all the time.
Yeah, which I mean was great because I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean I understand why people are anxious and intimidated when they go to gyms.
Yeah.
I mean today he's had this guy who's like yelling his head off at the gym. Who's probably on some roid, you know. And it's like.
If you're new, it's kind of scary,
if you're a 130-pound guy, freshman in high school, or a girl, you know, you're intimidated by that.
Sure.
You don't know what you're doing. So many machines. Where do I get started?
You think people are like looking at you all the time when in reality they're not. But
constantly, right? There's this head in the back of your mind, like, don't do anything to look dumb. Don't do anything to look dumb.
Because, dude, I mean, at Crunch, bro, like, it can be packed there, dude. Like, packed. There's like 50 people in the back. And it's like, dude, the person everywhere.
Arm farm, just left,
right? Yeah, like, dude, a bunch of people, so.
But no, yeah, I mean, so I think then having you and Jack, who you had come up with a solid routine that
I started it, and then I was, so when, like, you were, that's what I had started doing myself. And then Jack, for, like, a whole year, right? And I had seen a lot of progress myself. Like, once gym opens in May 2020, I was grinding for, like, the entire year, right? Until you started. Jack wanted to get into it after we went on like a spring break trip in March 2021. He was like, dude, I'm done. Cause do you know the story about it? Like why he got so jacked? Like why he decided to finally get big?
Yeah, he remember he'd seen the picture of you.
So there was a picture of, I posted a picture of like a little vacation picture, like 4 pictures on Instagram. And a lot of them had my shirt off because I'm like, dude, I look good now. I'll post my pictures on Instagram.
Of course, yeah.
I earned it, right? And so I posted one of me, Jack, and Ava. All of us were in the ocean, and my friend Dom commented. He was like, Jack's got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
And dude, that just like set him off, bro. He was like, I'm done. Because I'm saying like he tried like 3 or 4 different times to get in. He'd come for a week. I'm not going anymore, you know? And then he'd do it again and quit and blah, blah, blah. No, this time, dude was locked in, right? So we were lifting together for like 6 weeks probably till I left because I was like, okay, if you really want to do it, let me just do my workout because it's good.
It's good, yeah.
And we'll just modify weights and reps at the beginning. So because obviously you're gonna be sore from the first 2 weeks, but after a while you can catch up to the reps that I'm doing, and eventually catch up to the weight, you know, which you did. And so then you guys just started getting after it, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean,
on that same push pull leg.
I think that was important. It was credit to Jack as well because I mean he showed up every day, you know, without excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good because I mean we had each other, pushing each other. It was also just nice because I mean we were both on the same wavelength at the time, and so I mean you didn't need much more, right? I have my gym partner going every day, keeping me accountable, also pushing me, but also having fun while doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly, bro.
Not constantly being like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Because that's the worst, is when you get somebody you're lifting with or something and you just...
Oh, dude, I won't lift with them, bro.
Constantly think that they
like know everything. Dude, you're like 20 years old, bro. Like, shut up, you know? Like, no, bro. I think, like, when we live together, bro, we always have fun, you know? Like, we talk and blah, blah, but yeah, today, I remember, like, I'm doing incline press, bro. You're like, you got 2 more. And I'm like, I don't think I had 2 more in my head. I was like, I pushed that last one up. I was like, oh, like, I don't think I have 2 more, bro. Like, but no, it's great. And I mean, we've always had a great time lifting together. I love lifting with Jack. And but yeah, so you start lifting with Jack, and then the picture of you comes out, dude. Yeah. In that summer, like you are shredded, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? 8 months later, or 6 months later, dude, you're shredded, bro.
Yeah. So I think I went back. I went back to school, right? And I was like, all right, great. I'm on this wave now. Fantastic grind. Like, let's see how far I can take this.
Yeah.
And the summer was funny because I, like, went full mode on it. Because I had another friend, Eli Davis, who used to play basketball at Kenyon, and he was also on that grind. And man was shredded.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did you do this? And he gave me his macro split for food.
Oh, okay.
So now I have the combination of your phenomenal advice on and being accountable with lifting and everything, combined with my diet, and the progress was just you could see it. Yeah,
dude, I know, bro.
So yeah, then I went to school and was like, all right, like I'm logging my macros, I'm taking this seriously. And yeah, I went to school and I was like, all right, let's keep this going now.
Yeah.
Now in hindsight, I think it probably wasn't the smartest thing because I was so jacked that it was actually slowing me down running track.
Oh yeah.
But
dude, there was a picture of you that you posted on your Instagram last year. Of you running. Dude, your veins, your arms are crazy.
Wait,
I was like,
I have it. Yeah, no, I mean, I looked at that picture and I was like, who is he?
Yeah,
I didn't recognize myself.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we've been saying, like, you don't even recognize your past version, and even when you look back now at the grind, you're like, wow, like I can't believe that I looked that good after such a short period of time, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, bro. Like for both of, I mean, yeah, for me too, dude. Like, I remember, I took this. There was this picture of me in September of 2019.
This one, right?
Yeah, this one's crazy, bro. Here, I just want to show this, dude. This guy is absolutely yoked,
That's insane.
Right? I mean, dude, you don't look like a track.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like in hindsight, after seeing that picture, I'm like, all right, like clearly, a little too much. But like, regardless, like I mean, it's all jokes in hindsight.
And like, it's just funny because like most of the track runners are like skinny, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're just bulking up.
Well, that was the other funny thing is like, I definitely did not. I was definitely one of a kind there.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing that.
Dude, it's good though. I love the hybrids.
Yeah.
We're both hybrids, I would say, because we can run for sure. I mean, bro, I still play soccer like at a high level, right?
Yeah.
But we're both like pretty jacked too. I mean, dude.
That's
like,
the physique we've both been going for, right?
Yes, it's not. I'm not trying to get. Maybe one day, but not now. I'm not trying to be like humongous, dude. I like being lean, where I have good definition, abs, but I'm not 100 and for my height at 5'6", I'm not 175.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm under 150 pounds, which honestly, dude, I just weighed myself again. I was 147.
Oh wow, so you're
so
still
I'm getting
losing
like,
weight.
dude, I'm getting too lean. I'm gonna be honest right now. Bro. Like, I'm trying to eat more, but I don't know what's going on. But again, it's like the no alcohol. I'm not eating crap at all.
Yeah,
it's pretty perfect right now. It's like maybe 5% is like shit occasionally.
Yeah. But I mean, we've also recognized that like the whole powerlifting thing is it's not attractive to anyone.
No, it's not.
You end up looking like a meatball at the end of the day, right?
Or like you're a fat powerlifter.
Yeah.
Which, dude, like,
we've seen those at Crunch as well.
Oh, for years.
The guys that come in with like the Sour Patch Kid 2-pound bags.
I'll give them credit. They are really strong, but they don't look good, And it's like, dude, if I go to the gym every day, I want to look good, right? And that might sound superficial, but I don't give a shit. Like, I do train because I want to look good. I think we both can say that because it gives us confidence, bro, and it makes your life better. But
we've always, I think we've both been insecure growing up in our own different ways,
for sure,
and like
bro.
This has been a way for us to gain confidence. And I understand that people that are like, but that's so superficial, but it's like, no, it's not really, because like if we were just lifting, for example, and we didn't do any of the other stuff, none of the meditation, none of the journaling, none of the dieting, none of the focusing on the healthy stuff, reading
a little bit of it,
then fine, I get it. Okay, because I'm lifting because I want to look good for the ladies or whatever, blah blah blah, but like we've taken it from a holistic approach, and I think that just goes to show that insecurity that we're trying to chip away at, it doesn't come from a place of, we're not attractive enough. It comes from a place of, we want to be something.
Yeah, it's a deep.
We want to prove something to ourselves.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, right? Because I think you and I, obviously we both came from good families. We were both like decently athletic. Nothing crazy in high school at all or anything. I mean, we both played like soccer at our high schools. We went to like rival high schools. But we played on the same club team. We were not popular at either one of our schools at all.
No.
I wasn't for sure, and you weren't either. I think we were both kind of different a little bit. I was like a quiet kind of kid, like friendly, but I wasn't hanging out. I wasn't doing the quote unquote like cool stuff that the high school
partying
kids.
In high school.
I wasn't partying in high school, bro. I was just an average kid, right? And I think you could say the same thing. I'm telling you, I think that's pushed both of us to just be like just as good as we can be now.
Yeah.
I think we made that realization, like, dude, we've been kind of average. And then I got to college, right? And I'm playing for my college team, and I'm not getting the time that I thought I deserved, which in reality I didn't because I wasn't putting the work in.
Yeah.
But then it's like you realize you're like, I want to be something like finally special because I didn't have a good high school career. I had a bad first years in college. Like, I mean, it was okay, but not what I wanted, right? And I'm like, I want to make something of myself as selfish as that sounds, I want to be like important, you know, and like feel good for myself. And I think, dude, we both just like decided that, and then we just grinded and it made it obsessive to a point where my family used to be like, when I was literally measuring my food out at home and during COVID, and they would like laugh at me, and be like, "Why are you doing that?" Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get like as in good a shape as I can be. Like, I know it looks stupid, and a lot of people might think it's stupid, but like, I just didn't care. I was like, dude, like, I'm trying to be somebody, you know.
100%. Yeah.
You know? And I'm still trying to be somebody, dude. It's like, yes, I've had I honestly like really good successes the past few years because of all the work that's been put in, but there's more to accomplish. Like, the tank is there's like, we're never finished, bro. As Goggins says, like, we're never finished. Like, there's more stuff to do, you know. And
someone's got to carry the boat.
Someone's got to carry the boats, and I think we've just instilled those good habits. Like, I was saying the same thing to George, because obviously I've spent years on the field with him, right? And he's been a big like inspiration and kind of like person to follow for me, physically and like with soccer. And we just both like, we just know there's more, and the stuff that we're doing, even though it doesn't directly apply to like a successful job or like career or being an entrepreneur, the habits of like doing the daily work and being accountable for yourself and all that stuff that comes with it, being resilient, it just sets you in such a great direction, you know. And I think we both have really developed that over the last few years.
I agree.
And the ability to say no to stuff that isn't good for us.
Yeah.
To say no to people that we probably shouldn't be hanging around with.
Agreed.
And say no to events or activities that it's not in our best interest. Like, yeah, it might be fun, but
is it even fun?
No, it's not really. Honestly, I've come to realize that. Normal people think it's fun. My sister would think it's fun. But I've gotten to the point where I think, like, going out to a bar is really not that fun now.
Your sister also, though, right, still has college to experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
she's a lot younger.
It's
so
a different timeline.
Yeah, of course, yeah. She hasn't gone through, and other people too haven't gone through the experiences. Like, I've been out to parties and bars and stuff, but yeah, now I've gotten to the point. I said this on the same podcast with George. I'm like, it's not really that fun for me anymore because I've already done it, and I'm like, and I know I get pissed at myself if I like wasted a whole night, woke up hungover, and have a bad workout. Like, I would just be pissed at myself, you know? Yeah. Which I think is a great place to get to. People might think like, oh, you don't have enough balance or whatever, but if you're having fun, bro, if you're grinding, having fun, that's all the balance you need.
But yeah, I mean, I just say like we're ahead of the curve in that sense. I think also living in Europe has really brought a lot of that in perspective for me.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I mean,
that's a whole different experience on itself.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't say anything.
But from the perspective of this whole partying and socializing and doing things that aren't good for you, right? Because over there, you do your bachelor's from 18 to 21, and then you go and do your master's straight away, right after.
Yeah.
Whereas in the U.S., you usually work, and then you go do your master's, or unless you're in med school or whatever.
Yeah.
But plus, like, the drinking age being 16, like, they get a much earlier jump than we do on it. Yeah. But they also are still drinking as if they're 21 when they're 25, 26, partying until 2, 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But it's because they're still in school, right? So there's this mindset of, like, oh, you know, I'm a student still, partying, having a good time.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, we've been through college now. Okay, done it. Know what it's like. Have experienced it, have lived it. But yeah, we don't see the value in it. There is no added value in it. Yeah. I'm poisoning my body with alcohol, which the health effects of alcohol are so detrimental and I think so undervalued.
Oh yeah, bro, for sure. When I watched Huberman's podcast, dude, I was like, I'm like literally cool, never drinking.
Yeah,
alcohol.
I mean,
like, maybe once in a while, but dude.
But it's so funny, right? Because it's such a societal thing that has been so widely accepted and almost encouraged.
Yeah.
Like, it's seen as macho to drink, right?
Yeah, it's like cool.
Which I think is just the funniest thing on the planet when you actually think about it's macho to put poison in your body.
Dude, drinking alcohol literally puts estrogen in your body. It makes you more of like...
I didn't know that.
It gives you more estrogen.
Okay.
So as a man, like, I don't want to have more estrogen, bro. It lowers your testosterone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that, bro. So, yeah, but no, you're right. It's absolutely been normalized and encouraged. And, I mean, you can literally see every day, like, people going into a gas station, picking up a 12-pack of Bud Light.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah. And I mean, like, I'll admit, even though I've been on this fitness journey now for a while, I mean, there are times when I struggle. Like, when I moved to Brussels at first, I mean, I had that terrible accident with the scooter and everything. But the first 3 months, I mean, I think it was partially stress and the new job and the new environment and throwing myself in the deep end. But I was drinking, like, 3 tall boy cans of like 8% beer every night after work.
Yeah.
Literally like clockwork. Get off the train, go to the grocery store, pick up 3 cans of tall boys of beer, a bag of chips, go home, drink and eat, and go to bed, repeat. Yeah. And I mean, it's just now I look back, I'm like, wow, like I understand why I started getting chubby again before I finally got back into the gym in Brussels, because alcohol has such an effect on your weight.
Yeah, dude, it does, bro. When I would go back to college and like I always the last 2 years going to school, I'm shredded, bro. Right, like because I'm getting ready for preseason. I'm trying to be in the best shape as possible. But then like we start going back to school and like we start drinking on the weekends. And after a few months, I realized I'm like I'm not as lean as I used to be at all. 1, because of the drinking, and 2, because of I can't control what I eat every day, so sometimes I would eat not great, which is unfortunate. But yeah, you learn from that, I think that's the biggest thing. Like learning from like failing, but you gotta learn from it. Yeah. So you've learned from like that experience that probably the first thing is the drinking. It might feel good in the moment, but in the long term, no. It's like probably instead you probably like if I'm really feeling stressed out, I'm gonna go outside and meditate and write. Yeah, I mean,
same thing. I think
go for a walk.
I think what I'm hoping for personally is like that I hit the same point with alcohol that I've hit on the vaping. Mm-hmm. Like I've finally come around in my head, because I was addicted to vaping for the longest time. Unfortunately, finally came to a point where like I was like, what am I doing to my body? I'm like putting metals and unknown toxins into my lungs, and I have no clue what it is. I need to stop this. Like I need to preserve what. Not to get too spiritual, but what God has given me, this beautiful body, and preserve it for as long as can be, because you only live once, truly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think with the alcohol, I'm really hoping it's going to be a really tough battle.
Of course, bro, it is, dude.
Harder than vaping, because that's not even English, but harder than vaping in the sense that what we were talking about was societal acceptance of alcohol, but
especially over there, bro.
Yeah, especially in Europe, right? But I want to get to that point where I'm like, look, why do I keep doing this to myself? Because the science is there. You can't deny the facts. Yeah.
But again, dude, all this stuff that's out to get us, it's made for a reason to be super addictive. Shit food, alcohol, nicotine, bro. Like it's hard.
Another thing about Europe is shocking is like
the
cigarettes. Like there's so much science on how bad cigarettes are for you, but no one cares. And B, just the food difference between here and the U.S. Like I'm sure you've seen those videos of like the ingredients list on the same food in the U.S. compared to Europe. But like, I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, like there is something about the industry in the U.S. with the ingredients they put in your food to keep you consuming those same foods.
Yeah, for sure.
There is like whenever I come back to the U.S., and I've told you this before, when I land in the airport, I'm like, holy cow, these people are fat.
Dude, it's just bro, it's sad.
I know it's 2023, and you can call me fat shaming if that is.
Hey, we fat shame on this podcast. I'll be honest right there.
But it's not even it's not even being fat, right? Okay, like you can be overweight. I've been overweight as well. We're talking morbidly obese. And it all stems from these foods, but the point is like the ingredients list in Europe is much more simplified.
And it's like the US is playing like an unfair advantage. Because there are these people, unfortunately, are going to continue to eat this and just get really fat. Which sucks, bro.
The scary part also, though, is like I've seen videos in like Qatar and these Middle Eastern countries where a lot of these American fast food chains are popping up, and the rates of obesity are skyrocketing. And I think it has to do a lot with convenience, right?
Of course.
I think something I pride myself on now that I'm in Brussels is I work an hour away from where I live, but I still have enough time to take that hour train ride back from work home, go to the gym, and then go home and cook myself a healthy meal. It would be so easy to go on Uber Eats or whatever and just order myself takeout food, but like you said, you feel like shit the next day.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I think it's we'll talk about this a little bit more. Like with me with like cheat meals, right? I used to love a good cheat day, bro. You know that.
Yeah.
I used to love one a few years ago.
I'll admit I'm still on it.
Yeah, I used to love one, right? And I mean, dude, I'm a fat kid at heart. Like I love, dude. George and I were in this gas station day, like getting some like a drink after we trained.
Yeah.
And George was like, dude, if I could eat whatever I want, I would just eat so much stuff. Dude. I'm like, dude, we're both like fat kids at heart, you know?
A Twix bar is staring at you before you check out.
Dude, it's horrible, right? But I've realized that, because I've done it a lot, right? I've had a cheat day, eat all this shit, and then after 10 minutes, I'm like, it's over, right?
Yeah.
It's like the pleasure is gone.
Yeah. And
then the next day I wake up and I feel like really bloated because I haven't eaten that shit in a while, right? And I feel like bloated, and I'm like, I slept bad because I had a bunch of sugar, probably caffeine too. Slept bad. I just don't feel, and then I can see it a little bit. I'm like, I don't feel as lean when I wake up in the morning, right?
I've always wondered, like, do you think you can see it? And then I'm like, am I just like telling myself that? Like, do I have like a body image issue, or is it actually true?
Yeah.
But no, it's a serious question, right? Because
dude, honestly, I think it can be true. I think if I eat like a lot, it would have to be like a whole ass like Penn Station sandwich with like a bunch of chocolate.
You definitely can. It's. I mean, you've seen those videos of the food babies, right?
Yeah. Like it's not even the fact that I think you would gain weight from that one night. The next day you would just be really bloated that you would just feel like you're fat.
Yeah.
But still, that's enough to scare me away, right? And after enough times of doing that, and I've done it a lot, dude, over the years, I think this year, like 2023 specifically, I've gotten to a point. I'm not saying I'm perfect, bro. I'm not perfect at all, right? I still make mistakes and everything. But I've gotten to the point where most times now I will choose the healthier option. Because I know the next day feeling. It's not even like right now. It's like I know I'll wake up next day, tomorrow when I go work out in the morning, and I won't feel as good, or I'll wake up, my stomach feels bad, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know one day is not enough to change it, but once you eat that shit, bro, you want more of it.
I was about to say, yeah.
You want more of it, so it's like the next day you're like, I can have a little bit. Like that's happened to me, bro. One cheat day turns into 3.
Fat kid Teddy talk.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is for sure. And it turns into 3, but then after a few days, you do start to see a little change, and you're like, dude, what am I doing? I gotta get back to normal, right? So, if I can just really be strict about just cutting garbage out, then I don't even think about it now. Like, I really just, like, eat what I'm supposed to eat. Now, if you want to call Chipotle a cheat meal, okay. I don't really think it is. I'll have Chipotle, bro, but that's still, like, rice and chicken and stuff. Yeah. And I'll have chips, but they're protein chips. Yeah. But I'm not having, like, ice cream and chocolate and stuff. You know, I'm eating the same thing every
Whole Foods.
day, bro. Yeah, Whole Foods, which is, like, the key to getting lean.
Yep.
It literally is just eating Whole Foods. Like, you could sell that as a course for $100. Eat Whole Foods and you'll get lean. Like, literally.
Yeah, I find it so funny. All those guys are selling plans on the internet. It's like, you just really need to look up on YouTube, like, a video, and you can find all the information you need to know.
It's like, what did people eat 500 years ago? Eat that and you'll be healthy.
Yeah, or just stay away from ultra-processed food.
Yeah, don't eat processed
really that
garbage.
simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, when I'll admit I'm not perfect, but, like, you know, if I want to, like, have a snack or something that's not super healthy, instead of going for, like, a tub of ice cream, maybe I'll go for some Belgian cheese.
Yeah, something like something better, you know?
Yeah, cheese is processed, but it's nowhere near as processed
as
have, like, a tub of ice cream with a bunch of ingredients that you've never heard of, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think one thing for me that I'm really trying to come to terms with, and I think is a body image thing, because through this journey, I've really been proud of what I've become, but I'm also really cognizant of not becoming neurotic about it.
I think I am too, bro. I think I have that problem also. I really do.
And I think you become so addicted and obsessed with what you can look like that when you don't look like that, you're almost like let down.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Bro, when I broke my ankle in 2021, and after a few months, because I couldn't walk for a month, the next month I was in a boot, right? So I could not do much cardio. I finally started lifting again but I'll be honest, during that time, bro, I was
Very
I
depressed.
don't like that term depressed because I think like it should be like a medical thing, but I was not controlling my emotions well. We'll say that. So I was sad and unhappy, right? Because, dude, I was in a bad spot, right? And what did I do? I didn't deal with it well. I ate like shit bad, right?
Yeah.
And so after a few months, dude, I looked at myself. I had like gained like 15 pounds, bro. I was like 160.
Yeah.
I've never been above 160 again. Like, and I not even close to. Like, once I was healthy, I'm fine, right? But I really, bro, when I couldn't like look at myself in the mirror for a while because I was like, dude, what? Like, how did I go from 4 months ago I was shredded to this now? Like,
yeah.
Which I think it can be a problem because you can really overthink it, but it's also a good sign of like, you know, when it's time to like make a change.
Of course.
It's kind of that balance between it, you know. It's not getting too hard on yourself where it's like you're a piece of shit and whatever. It's like, okay, listen, we've made some bad choices. Maybe we've not dealt with situations great, like me breaking my ankle and kind of dealing with it.
Yeah.
But let's right all the wrongs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean, I think for me even more so, you know, like now I'm living in Europe, you know, traveling, work. I mean, yeah, it's not easy.
No, bro, not at all. I know. Yeah, you told me. Bro.
Back
you told
on,
me. I know.
Back on vacation, and it's like, you know, like I know deep down I should be eating very healthy, but I am on vacation, and like I have to allow myself to, I don't know how to. Yeah, I mean, like I get it. Look, like the David Goggins mentality of like always work harder, always do this, always do that. But at the same time, like. I think having lived by myself in a different country now, when I'm back on vacation home here, for example, it's like I really do want to appreciate the moments and the times I have.
Mm-hmm. So like going out to dinner is not, it should not bother. Yeah, it should. It's not.
It shouldn't bother me, right? Because I feel like it's fair to be like I'm on vacation. Because I know that when I go back to Brussels, I'm always going back to the gym and I'm eating healthy 90% of the time and this and that, you know. So I don't really feel guilty about it, but at the same time, then when I look at myself in the mirror and I'm not looking my shredded absolute self that I normally am, I'm looking a little more bulky or whatever, dirty bulk, whatever you want to call it. You have to. It's important to have people around you to remind you that you're okay. Yeah. You look very good. Actually, in fact.
Compared to the rest of the population.
Compared to everyone else, right?
You know, that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing with me too, because like. Sometimes I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you know, it could be better. But again, I'm like, a lot of people would want to have my physique.
Well, and it's important to have outside perspective, right?
Yeah.
And so whether that's my parents, whether that's my girlfriend being like, hey, you know, you look great. And also being able to accept that compliment. Because I know for the two of us, we're such in a mindset of like, we got to get better, get better, that accepting that positive compliment or feedback sometimes can almost be hard in a way because you're afraid that it will weaken your drive or your desire to be better. Yeah, exactly. And it's also like reflecting on the accomplishments that you've done. I think that's a big thing for me that I've started to do that I didn't do for a while. It's like accomplish something. What's the next goal? What's the next goal always, right? Even like when I won a conference championship this year, that had been my goal for, like 4 years. Yeah. And literally the next day I'm like, what's the next goal? You know? Yeah. Like, what's the next goal? I'm like, but I've reflected on it now, which has been great and stuff. And I had Elliot on too. Really, we talked a bunch about that. But I was in that mindset of like, what's next? What's next? Which I think it's good, but also it can be too much sometimes when you need to take a step back and be like, reflect on how far you've come. How far both of us have come, bro. Agreed. And we're going to go through ups and downs. That's life, you know? Like, we're not, I think I've realized too, like, we're not always going to be, like, 100% the best we can be, you know? Because shit happens, bro. Yeah. It does. Moving to another country and having to figure it out can set you back, you know, in your fitness journey, right? Yeah. So, but we're just living and learning, bro, you know? Yeah. I mean, times. I think, you know, we've maintained that bond really well with us, even though we live 4,000 miles apart now. Absolutely, bro. I can't say that about many people. And you're right. I mean, like, you can't say that about anyone, really. But I mean, like, it kind of goes to, like, speak to who we are as people, and I think that's why we're friends. We've been friends for so long. It's like, we see relationships for what they are. we've had our fair share of flings with girlfriends and stuff like that. But I mean, like, we've always agreed that, like, you know, the right relationships will come in life, and when they do come, you got to make sure you hold on to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, I think it goes to speak, like, you know, yeah, even though we're 4,000 miles away, I mean, making it work, right? Staying in touch.
Absolutely.
I think there are a lot of life lessons that can be taken out of that. And I mean, we've talked about having each other at each other's weddings and stuff like that.
For
and
sure,
like,
bro.
it's those sorts of connections that you look back on when you get older in life. And I think you'll be like, I'm so grateful that I had that.
Yeah.
Also, statistically speaking, I mean, you think about it, right? There's that, I don't know where it comes from, but it's like, if you've been friends with a person for, let's say, 1 year, the likelihood that that person will stay in your life is X%.
Oh, I didn't
When
know this.
that person's been in your life for 2 to 3 years, the likelihood increases that they'll stay in your
Yeah.
life for the rest of your life. And so now think about us, where we're
10
at
years,
10
if not
years
more,
plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the likelihood that the friendship is going to last for the rest of our lives is guaranteed, basically.
For sure,
yeah.
bro, yeah. And it's also like, I mean, we'll kind of wrap it up here, but like, it's the like-mindedness that we have, which is what that's why especially I'm drawn to it, right? Like, we've always been friends, you know, since we were younger, and we like loved having fun together. We played, I mean, soccer is what drew us together in the first place, right?
It is.
We loved playing soccer together.
So grateful
bro.
that
We've been on
together.
how many games have we played together? You know, bonds that we've developed over the years, right?
Hundreds.
Yeah, memories that we've like shared together on the field and stuff like that. Now it's transitioned to like, now we're supporting each other in like what we do, and we're also like making sure that like, yo, you're good. We're making sure that like each other person is good. Our families are good, and that like we hold each other accountable, because it's like we know that maybe if we're down, we help you out, or you help me out,
vice versa,
and then it's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do to get you back to where you're supposed to be. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm so sorry, like it was his fault, you know.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
The sweet talk, what you want to hear, right?
Just blame it on somebody else.
Yeah.
We don't do that shit. It's like, yeah, it might suck for a little bit, but hey, like, you know you can do better. I'm gonna help you to do better. Blah blah blah. Right? And
yeah,
like,
I think taking our friendship relationship to that next level has been such a huge step for us. I think when we were first in middle school, you know, hanging out playing soccer, it was kind of like a very
surface level
friendship, the sleepovers, you know, okay, we see each other
go
at school,
bowling or like whatever, bro, go kick around, or
it's more like a social thing. He's my friend.
It's like what most people have as friends.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. But then I think as time has progressed and we've been there for each other and we've gone through our own struggles, that relationship has really deepened to the next level of, okay, we've gone from surface level hanging out to now we're supporting each other. Okay, now we've kind of hit that supporting each other. Okay, now we're going one level deeper to, you know, embracing supporting each other, but also now pushing each other. And
like physically, bro, like on the runs or in the gym, you know,
or mentally, man,
or mentally,
like, you know, we're 4,000 miles away, but like still make it work. You know, I mean, like, I mean, whenever we call each other, I feel like we pick up right where we left off. It's not things have changed at all.
No, it's not like awkward or anything, bro. Like, I feel like that definitely can happen to some people though, because they change a lot.
People change. You're not on the same page, right?
Yeah, but like we're on the wavelength.
Yeah, we always have been, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're not afraid to give each other hard truths.
No,
I'm not. But I mean, you aren't either. But I mean, at the same time, we've never really had to do that. When I think about it more carefully now, because either one of us has always come to the realization sooner rather than later that like
it's our own problem.
It's our own problem, and like the other person in the friendship will always be there to support us and tell us what we need to hear. But like we're usually the ones ourselves who come to each other and we're like, hey man, like I've had some time to think about this situation that I'm in, and honestly, here's what's wrong and here's what I need to do. And usually the other person's like, you're fucking right. That's exactly what you need to do. Like,
there's no like that's so true. There's no like,
it's never been like, hey Teddy, you're doing this wrong and you need to fix it.
Right? Yeah. No, it's not. It's like, maybe he's fucking up a little bit, but then he realizes, you know, and then like, but again, it's supporting each other and stuff. But we never like, I think another thing is we've both gone through our own problems, but now we like don't let each other just be like woe is me type, you know? Like we don't like let each other do that, you know, for sure. When it comes to like whatever in our lives. Like me might rant to each other about this sucks or whatever. Like, you know, I was called you a few days ago to talk about something that's going on in my family's life right now. I'm not gonna talk about it on here, not yet, but I know like I have to figure it out, right? Yeah. You know, like you're not gonna come save me. You're not gonna do it for me, and I'm not gonna do it. We know that, right? But we'll be there for each other to like, yo, we'll help you. Yeah. This is what you need to do. Yeah.
Also, just like making the most out of the small time that we have with each other.
I think we always do that really well. Yeah. I think we always do that well. We're obviously doing it now, bro. Like we're working out together. Had to get your ass on this. Yeah. And it's been great so far, bro. And I know we're gonna keep having a good time. And then, like, I mean, the summer when I was in West Virginia, like the breaks we have, we always make it a point to like go see each other.
Exactly.
Because, like, bro, it's one of my dogs, dude. Like, again, I don't have many friends, bro. Yeah. I'll say that. I have, of course, people I've been acquainted with for years and blah blah blah. But close friends who I trust, who I know are like think like me. It's you and George. And my brother. Yeah. And that's about it, bro.
Quality over quantity, right?
For sure, bro.
And this has just been a great outlet for me to see you continue to grow as well.
I appreciate it, bro.
Even though I've been in Europe, I mean, like, can stay watching your stories, watching the YouTube shorts, watching this podcast now, which bro. I think sky's the limit, man.
This is awesome, bro. Dude, this was so much fun, bro. I've loved doing this podcast. And again, I originally was like soccer. I'm gonna bring on like soccer players, but I'm like, dude, I know I can make it broader than that. I can bring on other athletes that I know, and just like my friends who
where you see eye to eye with on when it comes to values, mindset, motivation.
And you're like that to a T, bro. And so I was like, dude, Hans is here. I'm like, bro, I gotta get him on, dude. And I don't know how long we've been going, but
an hour 15.
Dude, this has been dope, bro.
Yeah. Subscribe to this guy, right?
Yes, sir,
get on this.
Yeah, get on this wave. So, episode 3 with Hans was dope. It's going to drop March 28th. So, not for a while, because I got Elliot.
May 28th, right?
May 28th. Yikes.
No, all good, man. We're tired.
So, I got Elliot's dropping on Sunday. And then, Hans going to come out. And, we got more guests lined up.
Stay tuned to this guy.
We're just rolling, bro.
Yes, sir.
Dope. All right, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it,
bro. All right. Dude, that was fucking dope, bro.
That was good, man.
That was dope.